What's up, nerds? Plugged In is back at it again. I'm your host, Mike, along with Molly and Tyler. Today, we're talking about LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, Hogwarts Legacy, and so much more. Let's roll the intro. Once again, thank you for the lovely panel for joining me today. Let's get right into business with Hogwarts Legacy.
I'm so excited. I had a Harry Potter game on my DS and on my Wii, and they were both not great. So the fact that they are making an open world game and you can just go through the whole Hogwarts thing, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
I mean, it looks really neat from what I've seen.
I think the last one I remember playing is probably the Lego games. I think I had Deathly Hallows, I think they made a game out of. So I'm not really like into Harry Potter much, but they remastered the Lego ones, so I'll probably play those again. But maybe not Hogwarts Legacy so much, so.
Well, I think the open world aspect is pretty cool in that it seems to be a lot of customization for your character. I mean, just alone, you're going to get to pick your own house and probably where you.
Well, I like that it's not even that you pick your own house, it's that you get sorted, just like how you do or like with Pottermore, how it's like a quiz. I really like that, you can't just be like, I want to go Ravenclaw and do this, or I want to be Slytherin and be evil. Like, you get sorted. And I think it's interesting that they have already like specific spells that you can definitely use. Like, you can use Guardian Leviosa, and you can use
Expelliarmus, maybe.
Yeah, and you can use like Accio was one of the ones that I remember seeing. I think this is what I have been waiting for since watching the movies.
Really?
I have been waiting for so long to play an actually really good Harry Potter game. Because the one that I had on the Wii was I think it was Prisoner of Azkaban, and then the one I had on the DS was, I think, Order of the Phoenix. And they were both fine, but they weren't great. And the Wii is only so good. So the fact that they have it on all of the systems, and you can do it however you want, I have been waiting for this day for so long. I'm so happy.
Well, I mean, you mentioned that it is coming to every console, new and old. You're probably going to get it on the Switch, I'm going to assume.
I'll either get it on the Switch or the Xbox.
Because, it might be a little lower res on the Switch.
Right.
I mean, the Switch.
I don't have the OLED Switch, so.
No, but I'm thinking for the rest of it, especially with the next gen consoles, PS5 and Xbox X, they're probably going to look great.
They're gonna look insanely, they're gonna look insane. Is it Unreal Engine 5 it's on, I think?
It is.
Maybe, so that's gonna make it look even better. So, PS5 and
It already
X.
looks so good. Just
Yeah,
from the trailers.
But at least we don't have to wait too long. It's coming out quarter this year, so around the holiday season. And, I mean, they kind of just dropped all the information now. So, I think, last year maybe they teased the game?
I think that they mentioned that they were going to do a Harry Potter game, and I don't even know if we knew that it was open world or anything. It was just kind of like that it was happening and that we should know to get ready for it.
Yeah, and at least it's a quick turnaround from when they announced it. And also with the open world, do you think we're going to see places outside of Hogwarts, maybe
I could see, I'm wondering if the way that it starts is you go through the train station, because I would love to see that. I wonder if you're going to see Privet Drive or Sirius Black's house.
Diagon Alley.
Diagon Alley, all of the areas there. I'm sure that will be included, as well as the place where you can get butterbeer. I'm sure that will be in it.
Is this gonna take place during the Harry Potter timeline, or is this a prequel or sequel of all of this?
I think it's early. I think it's pre-Harry Potter.
Okay, so with that then, the plot, could this be following a Tom Riddle maybe, or something along those lines?
I don't know, because I feel I think Tom Riddle's time is, I'm totally blanking, but it might be 30 years before Harry's born. So I feel I think I saw that this is really early. So I think that Tom Riddle's not even going to be involved, which means I have no idea who the antagonist of the game would be. I'm assuming it's just something with the dark side, those people. But I don't know.
Yeah, well, all right. Well, I think that's one good game that we all can be excited for. But a game I think that we all come to know and love over the past, 20 years now, is Assassin's Creed. it's actually getting possibly put in the Hall of Fame for video games. And how do you feel about this big IP getting this much love when there hasn't been a game out recently for it?
Yeah, I Assassin's Creed wasn't a game that I played, but I had plenty of friends that did, and I have seen some scenes from it, and it looks great. Visually, it's held up for the last 20 years. I think it's got really good competition with what games could go against it, and those games I'm more familiar with than Assassin's Creed.
Well, yeah, one of them being Candy Crush, which is every mom's favorite game to play.
Yeah, but we got like Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, Resident Evil, which I love.
Dance Dance Revolution's on the list
Yeah,
too.
DDR is fantastic.
Everyone, and Just Dance, of course, is the best party game ever. So it's just so hard. But I was always an Assassin's Creed fan. I was a big history kid, and Assassin's Creed 3 was my first take into the universe, which it was the last technically for Desmond Miles' story. But I just grown to play all the games. More of the recent ones, they changed a lot of the gameplay, and I was just like, I haven't been into it too recently, and they kind of been on a hiatus. And I think they're coming out with one this year. It's still up in the air, but I think it's just nice to see that this game, which has had a pretty weird development the past couple of games, is getting a little bit of love again. So, I mean, the ballots are closing at midnight on March 27th or 24th. So actually today, if anyone wants to go do that, I think that would be pretty cool that the fans get to move forward too, which is a nice thing.
I know Valhalla didn't get received very well.
I played it. Yeah.
Is it good at all?
I think if you like Vikings,
The whole Norse thing,
yeah. I think honestly since Origins, I just haven't vibed with it. I haven't liked the ancient world settings that much. I really enjoyed them progressing further into closer to our present and everything like that. I kind of wish we got an Assassin's Creed game that was maybe set in World War I or World War II.
That would have been cool. But yeah, like your introduction, mine was 3 as well.
Yeah.
Best one out there, 100%.
I mean, I think it had the best location, I feel like, because I was in a time where I was learning about that stuff in school.
England, I think it was, or whatever.
American Revolutionary War and all that, so it was really cool. Yeah. And do you have another favorite? I love Black Flag. I like
Black Flag. Yeah, probably Black Flag. Flag. I know Syndicate didn't get received well as well.
I like Syndicate though.
I got it free with Xbox with Games with Gold, so I played it a lot.
I got the DLC because it was a Jack the Ripper DLC, so it was really cool.
Yeah, I saw it,
Your mobile command center was a train, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever. But it's Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
I think you really can't go wrong with it. It's a game I put a lot of hours into, and it's a game that I'm sure if they have something that interests me soon, I will definitely put more thought into it. But a game that we're all really excited for, at least me and Molly are really excited for, The Quarry. It's the Until Dawn spinoff.
So I am very excited because Until Dawn is a fantastic game. The story is so good, the characters are so good. Rami Malek as a character in that game is fantastic, and I think his performance in that is heavily underappreciated. And I just think it's because he wasn't as famous as he is now when that game came out. My fear is that they made these other, not so much spin-off games in the sense of similar timeline, but other games in the same style by the same people, and they were these Band of Medan games, and they were all supposed to be under the same umbrella term for this game, but they were horrible. The graphics were terrible. The story was not good. Unlike Until Dawn, where you can actually play a lot of it, it was a lot of, you had to watch most of it, and then you did 2 decisions, and that was it.
It was almost like that Death Stranding game.
Yeah, exactly.
That was mostly a movie, but then you have to play every now and then.
It felt more like a movie that you got to, more like how Bandersnatch, Black Mirror Bandersnatch was an interactive movie. It didn't feel like a game. This looks like a game.
It looks like it's going back to the Until Dawn style. I'm excited because, like you were mentioning, they can definitely throw it in because Until Dawn had a narrator essentially running us through all the outcomes and everything, and I'm hoping that they can bring that back again where that guy kind of narrates everything. Cause I think it was cool that he's kind of this librarian of all these weird stories and everything, and he's trying to tell us about them almost as a warning. It's not even as just as an entertainment thing. It's to say these things are real, you should watch out for them.
I'm excited too because of the cast.
David
because
Arquette.
David Arquette.
Yes.
So excited.
We
Ariel
support him.
Winter. I haven't seen her since Modern Family.
Yeah.
Brenda Song. Haven't seen her in forever.
Since Sweet Life.
Yeah, like all
Oh
of
my God.
those three specifically. I think Justice Smith is another name that I knew.
They have a
Looking at the
discount
cast.
Tom Hanks in there, but I don't know his name.
I don't know his name, but like those four that I knew by name, I'm really happy about because I'm really excited to see what they can do. Because I loved, I'm totally blanking on their names. I know that Haley something was in Until Dawn, as well as Jordan Fisher was in Until Dawn,
Yes.
and Jordan Fisher did a great job. But those were the only three that I knew in that game. So this game I actually know a couple more people, and I'm really happy about it. And they just look so good.
This thing, it's a shorter game though, 10 hours. I feel like Until Dawn was longer. But then again, maybe I'm just so immersed that I just didn't realize it was only 10 hours.
I don't remember how long it was. But I think kind of like it depends. Like with Until Dawn, it depends on the way that you go. Because if you kill off everybody, the game is probably maybe 6 hours. Whereas if you purposely are trying to keep everyone alive and like focus on the story, and if you're like finding all of the different totems, then the game is probably longer than 10, 20, 20 hours.
I definitely would like to. It's been a while since I played a game like that where you actually, decisions really mattered.
Right.
And it wasn't like you could just go respawn or anything like that. So I'm curious to see how long it's going to take me to play that. I just also think, like, what do you think the monster is going to be? I mean, we looked at the last one, it was Wendigos, which were pretty cool. And that was like more of a Native Americans, like, you know, folklore and all that. So what could be this folklore in this universe?
I mean, they haven't really hinted at it at all. From what I've seen from like the very basic trailer, it's very up in the air, but I could see it being something like the Wendigos, where it's some kind of Native American folklore thing or something from like ancient times that's coming back.
Could it be like a werewolf maybe? I was kind of getting, it's a summer camp, so it's giving me like
That's true.
Friday the 13th vibes.
Yeah.
But like, you know, I don't think they would just do some big killer who just comes back from the dead.
I don't think,
years.
I don't think that they would do, if they did a werewolf, I think it would be more like how the Wendigos are, in the sense of they look just so visually creepy, not just like big fluffy monster.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll just have to find out. But another game coming out in a couple weeks, which I know we're going to be talking about when it comes out, Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, one that we are all very much excited for, one that I just pre-ordered the other day. So, what are we most excited for about this game? I know we talked about this a couple times on this, but what are you excited for now with it being like 2 weeks out?
Mostly just to play Rise of Skywalker and Last Jedi. Those are probably two of my favorite ones from the new trilogy. So even though they're one of the like not greater ones, I just want to do the fight on the one planet from Rise of Skywalker, and then up on the with all the dreadnoughts and everything, all the ships.
Exegol,
Yeah, the
that'd be
Exegol
cool,
one.
that'd be
Yeah, those are just staples from that movie, from the last one.
I have played a little bit of, I think, the original Lego Star Wars game, and I've played a little bit of like the Lego Batman game and the Indiana Jones game. So I'm more excited for the prequels because I love the prequels and I love Episode 3, and I want to go to Mustafar so bad. So that's the part that I'm the most excited about.
I'm definitely the most excited for the prequels as well. I mean, the Clone Wars is my favorite time period in Star Wars, and I think seeing the Battle of Geonosis in like this next gen capacity is going to be really, really cool. And with that, there's 380 playable characters.
That's so
I
crazy.
think with DLC, it's like I just saw today, like an hour or so
it's
ago.
over 400 with
Yeah,
DLC.
it's 424 plus with DLC, which is amazing. The most we've ever had in a Lego game. So
You get
it's
to ride a
mind
Golem
blowing.
droid.
You get to ride a
You get to
Golem droid?
ride a Golem droid. Not
That-
only can you play as one, you can ride one.
That makes me so
You
happy.
get little pets to follow you around. Like you get to get like a little, I think you get like a porg, or you can get
Oh my
an
God.
Ewok maybe.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
that's cute.
Yeah.
I'm so happy about that. I'm so happy that there's all of the different characters that you can play as, besides like Luke, Han, Leia, Chewie, or then like Rey, Finn, Poe, and then like the characters in the prequels. Oh, that's so
And
cool.
outside of the Force Awakens Lego game, we haven't had any other sequel trilogy stuff in Lego, so we'll be curious, like you were saying, Todd, to see all those other ones, because maybe they can make the movies better for all
Oh
we
my
know.
God.
I don't know. But really, I think there's just so much stuff to do, so much to explore. I mean, it's open world, which
Right.
is the first for a Lego game out in this such a large scale. They've done Marvel stuff where they have definitely built worlds that you can fly around and stuff like that. But this is the first one where you get to travel through space and everything's explorable. You could just come out of hyperspace and you could be in the middle of a space battle. Like, this is a pretty big undertaking, and of course it's been delayed a few times because of that. So what are you thinking when it comes to just like the exploration? Is the game going to focus more on that, or maybe more on the story?
Firstly, I think, and this is a point that you made forever ago when they announced that it was coming, is that they delayed it for a good reason, clearly, because it looks like it's going to be great. I feel like I personally am going to focus more on the exploration aspect because that's always my favorite part to do in open world games. I don't know if they're going to focus more on that than the actual like storyline, but that's what I'm going to spend most of my time doing.
Probably just going through the story, just 100%ing it, just try and get all those accomplishments done, achievements, and the game looks beautiful. A lot of content creators on YouTube have been able to play it early, and they've gone through the first mission of New Hope, the Rey and Ben fight from Rise of Skywalker. Couldn't remember his name there for a minute. And just like, it just looks so beautiful. No wonder why they delayed it so far, because they're using a very great engine in it, and it's just so beautiful. I can't get over how good it looks.
I'm really excited because I've been seeing a lot of videos on the first mission of Revenge of the Sith where you save Chancellor Palpatine from General Grievous and all that, and it looks great. And it's always fun with Lego games because like they have like a little scene with the Emperor sitting in his chair watching the battle being like the Emperor and not Palpatine. Then here's Obi-Wan and Anakin coming. It's like, oh wait, crap, and he has to change real quick. It's just like it's fun little things like that where like you can get away with, and it's really bringing out my inner child again.
Right.
Because like I played this, like you were saying, I played the complete Saga on my DS back when I was a kid, and just having all this fun stuff come back, it just really makes me excited for Star Wars and this Lego game as a whole. But kind of rounding off our topics today, we have kind of our favorite video games, consoles, maybe handheld stuff, games. So kind of get me started, guys. What is your favorite console of all time? Let me just get your opinions on this.
I'm gonna first, because I'm gonna have to list off each one I had so I can remember which one is my favorite, because I don't know. Because I had a Game Boy Advance, and then I had a DS, the original one, and then I had a DSi XL. I had a DSi XL 25th anniversary Mario edition, super cool. That was the DSi. I didn't have two of them. I had a Wii. I had an Xbox 360 with the Kinect. I had an Xbox One. And I had a PlayStation 4 for a short amount of time, and I have a Switch now. I think of the systems, the Xbox 360 is my favorite because that's what I played independently the most.
Okay.
Yeah.
Valid. Not Tyler, what about you?
I'm in the same boat.
You're
I got that when I was it was like years and years. I think fourth grade, maybe I got it. First two games I ever got was Major League Baseball 09 with Tim Lincecum on the cover, the pitcher for the Giants, and then Rise of Cobra, G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra. Game I never completed, always got mad, and then just switched between the two. The best console ever. Had so many like feats with it. It's just, I think it's one of the best ones besides like the NES and SNES and all those old ones.
Yeah, of course, the classics. You never can beat them. But I'm actually going to have to say the PlayStation 2 is my favorite. It was my first console. I got it when I was 6. So God, it was probably like 2005. So that I've had a lot of memories on, and it kind of led to me finding my favorite video game ever, which is Star Wars Battlefront 2, 2005. I think you can't beat that game at all. I think it's the best Star Wars game. I think you have a campaign, which was an original story set in the final days of the Republic, the Rise of the Empire. You have instant action with at least 24 maps, and with that, Galactic Conquest, and, which hasn't been in a Star Wars game. Technically, Battlefront 2 2017 did it, but they didn't do it as well. But Battlefront 2 is by far, I think, my favorite video game.
I think firstly, we have to talk about the fact that the Wii itself is a fantastic console, and I had so many great, fun times playing games on that console. But the Xbox 360, I've learned to appreciate more as I've gotten older because that's what I've used for so long. My favorite game on that console is Borderlands. Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel are some of my favorite games of all time. They are some of the only games I have ever played repeatedly, like completed the story and then finished a second or third time. I love those games. I love how they look. But I think my favorite game of all time is a newer game called Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Oh, of course you said that
It's so beautiful. The opening scene when you run on that cliff and you just look out at all of Hyrule is beautiful. And it's something that other games have tried to emulate and have not done well. Not that they haven't done it well, but it's not the same. Pokemon Legends Arceus does the exact same thing, and it's not nearly as breathtaking as you holding this Switch in your hand and just looking. It's so pretty. It's so fun. I have played that game too many times and have put too many hours into it, but that is my favorite game of all time.
I think mine, very, not controversial per se, but not a lot of people like it enough, Destiny. Destiny 1 and Destiny 2.
Okay,
Both of them I like. Destiny 2, when I got it, I strafed off a little bit from it, came back around like Warmind and Curse of Osiris. And then Beyond Light was amazing. Witch Queen, I'm still going through the DLC, but it's a really good DLC so far. Just Destiny 1 has something about it that it's grown so much to known where people love it that, I remember using the Hawk Moon for the first time, like the Last Word. Just all these weapons and all these characters that we've known now, it brings just a factor to it that's just unbeatable to me, to be honest. PvP, Crucible, Iron Banner, Trials. So good, so good.
If we're talking new games, though, I was a little older there. Red Dead Redemption 2. It is probably up there as one of my new favorite games. It's in my top 3 video games of all time, for sure. It's one of the only video games that actually make me cry.
Really?
Yes. Spoiler alert for anyone who's still playing it. When my horse died at the end, and I had to watch it take its last breath, I lost it. I went through that whole game with that horse, and I couldn't get it back after that. Worst feeling I've ever had, but 10 out of 10 game, and I sunk in probably 200 plus hours into that game.
Yeah.
Like I actually walked from one corner of the map to the other corner of the map. It took me about 3.5 hours to get from one side of the map to the other, just like walking, like normally, like on a horse, not even like on foot, just on horse. And I'm like, this game's amazing.
Yeah, that game. I never played that game, but I played a little bit of the original Red Dead, and I've seen some of Red Dead 2, and it is beautiful, and it is very emotional, and it is very good.
Yeah. Video games like that, I'm definitely out of multiplayer recently in my older age. I don't really care much for multiplayer. When it has a good story to it, that's where I'm at.
Yeah,
so.
I think that's my favorite part of games is I don't necessarily need it to be an open world, 1,000-hour game with all of these beautiful graphics. I just want it to be a good story. Like that's why I go back to games from the 360 and games on my DS. Like I recently started playing Pokemon Black for the first time, which I never played before, and it's so fun and it has such an amazing story compared to Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, which sucks. It's the same exact game. It's the same game.
I see that.
But Pokemon Black is such a great story, and it was made 10 years before.
I think video games hold a special place in all of our hearts. I think everyone's hearts who's watching this show too. So we all are affected in some sort
Cousins,
of way by
siblings, parents, they all bring us into these video games. It, like you said, holds like places in our hearts. They're just priceless.
Yeah, consoles like the Wii brought families together. Wii Sports. Is the
Wii Sports.
We still play Wii Sports.
Yes.
I still play Wii Sports with my family.
My dad has a $2.99 in Wii bowling.
Really?
But, yeah.
My dad's like literally the same thing. He has like the little stars on the ball and everything. And he's proud of that. He tries to keep that record.
Yeah, I get that. But I mean, my cousin gave me my first video game console. He gave me my Game Boy Advance when I was like 6. And my favorite game on that, by the way, was the Brother Bear game that I played a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a throwback.
I had that and the Bratz game.
Nice.
But yeah, like my family connected me with these games that changed. This is gonna be so cheesy. They changed my whole life.
Wow. Tear. I'm gonna show you.
Ooh, that was so cringy.
But
I'm sorry.
On that note, thank you guys for joining. I think that's all the time we have for today. As always, Mike here along with Molly and Tyler, and we'll catch you next week on the flip side, Millersville.